Hi, this is Megan Dorsey, and I'm sitting in the lobby of the Wilderness Lodge. And when I'm not sitting here next to the source of the Silver Springs, or in a rocking chair by the large fireplace, or waiting on some shenanigans from the Whispering Canyon Cafe, I like to go geeking on WDW with Curtis and the whole family.
Hey, Disney World Geeks, Curtis Stone here, and welcome to episode 468 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. This week, I continue my chat with longtime pal Glen Kessler to review his trip to Disney World with his son Harrison, and Glen gives us some more of his awesome tips with Genie Plus and ways to score big points on Toy Story Mania. And I've been having fun talking about my trips to Disney World, geeky roundtable chats, and reviewing a lot of your trips to Disney World for over 8 years. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I started the podcast with my daughter Lindsay, talking about our Disney World trips, and then we brought on you Disney geeks to tell your trip stories. Our listeners are so positive, caring, generous, and they are experienced Disney geeks. You'll get lots of ideas and tips for your next trip to Disney World from their real-world experiences and trip reports. We encourage a family atmosphere, and before too long, they were calling me the Podfather. And we'd love for you to join our Geekin' family. We've got an amazing private discussion group in Facebook. Search for Geekin' on WDW Family. Great place to ask your questions, share your trip pictures, and engage with one of the best groups of Disney World geeks out there on the internet. And we're independent Disney authorized travel guides with FTC Elite Travel. We'd love to be your Disney travel guides and help you book your room, tickets, and dining reservations. Thanks to Megan Dorsey for that intro. That was from about a year ago. She's a client of ours. She's got a great trip with that Destinations by Disney. That's where they give you some fantastic tour guides. And she's planning a trip to Egypt. Yeah, with my wife, Margita. She's also a Patreon supporter of the podcast. So thank you, Megan. Big shout out to Megan, a super geek too, who's been on the podcast doing trip reports. We'll certainly do her trip report when she goes to Egypt. You can get started by talking with Mama and Auntie Judy at travelandtiaras@gmail.com. That's their email. Check the show notes. You'll see their email as well as mine if you'd like to reach out to us and talk about your next trip to Disney World or go on a cruise or Disneyland. This week's trip report is with Glen Kessler, part 2, where we talk about the time he spent with his son Harrison. Harrison loves animals, and they did the Caring for Giants tour. They did the Flights of Wonder. They ate at Boma. Yeah, his kids are pretty good eaters, too. Not as adventurous as Glen is. Then we got some of the really fantastic tips that Glen Kessler is known for, like stacking Genie Plus strategies. He talks about the best place to see the fireworks in Magic Kingdom, and you'll be surprised at his strategy. I've been wanting him to do this for a long time, but he lays out those Toy Story Mania hacks so you can score lots of points and have some extra fun on the Toy Story Mania attraction. He's got some more geek meets with like Amanda Bond and Rachel Miller. Well, I can't believe I found Glen on my episode 12 of this podcast. That's a long time ago, buddy. Thanks for being my friend all these years. Hope you keep bringing us great reviews and Kessler tips like this week, Geekin' on Walt Disney World. All right, so we know Glen Kessler's history of going solo with the kids. Now, Harrison then is, how old is he?
Well, this was not an on-script, 5, 8, 11-year-old trip. Harrison ended up going with me just 3 weeks after Sarah and I went, because this was a planned Sarah second, part 2 Sarah trip. She won't do a 6 days away from her children trip. She's not interested in that. So I said, what about 2 3-day trips? So this was the plan, was Memorial Day, and then 3 weeks later it was June 17th, 18th, and 19th on a weekend. This was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because no holiday weekend. And she said, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." I said, "Wonderful. We'll shake it up. We'll go to the Animal Kingdom Lodge this time. I think you'll enjoy the animals and the safari and that pool and that relaxing, kind of vibe and energy." And then we got close to the trip and the kids' school schedule changed. And what previously had been the end of the school year got bumped 2 days and was the Friday of the departure. And she did not want to be absent from our eldest's final day of school. I didn't want to be absent either, but I kind of knew it was a half day and it's the final day of school. They're not doing any work. They had their graduation a day before. And we all went to that. So I was like, what's the big deal on that? So I said, well, I'm going to take one of the kids then. I got this extra ticket and I took Harrison back because I hadn't spent a lot of time with him. Alden had just been for his 5-year-old trip last year. AJ had just been on Star Cruiser with me in April of this year. So I was like, Harrison, you're next man up. Let's go enjoy some time. And this has really been the summer of Harrison because I've been coaching his baseball all-star team. So I've been doing tournament weekends and practices up the wazoo with him. And then this Disney trip thrown on top. It's been a great bonding, kind of summer with my guy. And if you recall, of my 3 sons, he's the one who's least like me and my pace and my speed right now.
Right.
And he's the go quiet, meet some characters, do shows. And so I wanted to do that again with him and still learn and connect with him. And so that was what we did. We did some rides. We tried Guardians, unsuccessful, made him terribly nauseous. He got off the ride almost in tears. He said, "My belly feels weird." He didn't understand what was happening. So that was a no-go after that. So all our plans for 3-4 rides on Guardians, tamped down with that. And so we just took it easy, and kind of walked around World Showcase and nibbled on some food that settled his stomach and just kind of enjoyed, as me and my Harrison do, it just kind of enjoyed taking in the sounds, the sights, the entertainment, which was back. By the way, the entertainment is all back that I could see. Not, the drummers at Japan were out doing their thing. Canada has their live act. The UK, so all the music and characters were still out. Very exciting. We ran into some more geeks /pointers. I don't know what their moniker is at the Chad's DVC, kind of channel. Gina Grodsky and Shannon Sace, and just had a great time hanging out with the two of them. That was a short one. We ended up hanging out with Shannon a little more later in the trip. And we even went on some rides and Monsters Inc. laugh floor and stuff like that with her, and had some funny photos we took with her. So we had a good time kind of hanging out with them. But then we went back to Jumbo and just kind of chilled and relaxed there. We did Boma for dinner. He loved that. He enjoyed the buffet, and his brother, who had been there in April and had done the buffet, had given him all the notes, all the things to eat, the ribs, the steak, not the mustard. I love the mustard, but they were not into the mustard yet. You got to try that mustard, man. It is.
I can't believe I totally blew that one. I may have had it in the past, but now it's become famous. But so your kids are pretty good eaters then.
Yeah, they're not nearly as adventurous as I am right now, for sure. I wouldn't say that, but they love meat. They love steak. They love ribs. They love chicken, that kind of stuff. So as long as it's not too spicy, as long as it's not too weird, they'll take some shots at it. But they had some prime rib. What did they have that day? Yeah, they had ribs, prime rib, chicken nuggets. He went to town on all of those. I just enjoyed it. Oh, and of course, zebra domes. He really loves the zebra domes. And Harrison loves animals too. This is a big choice also why I took him, since we were staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Not only did we have a Savannah view room, and I knew he'd get a thrill out of seeing giraffes and all the animals that are out there, and zebra and stuff like that, which he did. And we had that first morning when we woke up, Kurt, giraffes right there, there. Now we were on the highest floor, which I think is actually too high to really enjoy the Savannah because you're so far away from I think the second or I guess it's the third floor technically because the lobby's on the second. Anyway, that's a better floor. We were on the fifth floor and it was a little too high. But we scheduled a special tour. This is my first tour that I've ever done at Disney World. We did the Caring for Giants tour. That's the elephant-based tour.
Yeah.
And we were stalking the Rhino tour. I missed it on my booking window. And then I went to them that day and I was like, do you have any space for the Rhino tour? Any people no showing? And they didn't, because that one you get to actually touch the rhinos. You touch the rhino's skin. And I thought he would just lose his mind with something like that. We did not get that, but we did get the elephant tour. You get basically to the backside of the Kilimanjaro Safari ride of the elephant enclosure. So we saw all the trucks going by and we're just kind of beyond, where they're standing where those big trees are. And they do a wonderful show. It's about an hour long tour. They have everything from a kind of a cross section of an elephant's hoof. I don't know what you call it, an elephant's foot, and what it looks like inside of there with the big fat pads and everything, and how the bone is like basically like a woman wearing high heels, kind of like the bones are tipped at this angle. It looks terribly uncomfortable. Anyway, and then of course the piece de resistance, the poop, the gigantic meat pie of poop that you get to handle. Now it's totally shellacked. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but don't get freaked out. It's totally shellacked. Hundreds of people have touched this thing. It's not going to dissolve in your hands, but obviously anyone under the age of 13 and probably quite a few above just get the kick out of this one and start giggling to themselves that they're touching the poop. So that was a great day. Animal Kingdom Lodge, the tour. He was in his element. The bird show, the birds flew right over top of his head. You know how they sometimes have an audience member maybe hold something like $1 is what they did this time. Oh. And one of the birds comes and lands on their arm and takes the $1 up on stage and they never get it back. That happened right in front of us. The seat in front of us, that happened. So that experience was right under our noses. My guy was just super, super excited. So Animal Kingdom was a hit for him, and he loves his kid rides, his Magic Kingdom rides. So all the while, we're enjoying things walking, in the morning, I'm stacking Genie Plus lightning lanes and things for later in the day. On our second day, I did that for Magic Kingdom, and on our third day, I did it at Hollywood Studios. So we got the Genie Plus for the two of us for both days. So $30, right? Plus tax. So $31 or whatever it was. And on our Magic Kingdom day, we were able to save over 300 minutes in line on 7 different rides using the Genie Plus. And then the next day, this is our departure day. We even had to go catch a flight. We also saved 300 minutes in lines on, I think it was 5 rides over at Hollywood Studios. So I would love to do a deep dive for you on how to maximize Genie Plus and strategies and stuff like that. I know people have talked about it, but I've got a couple of tips I think that would even go beyond some of the things that that we've heard on that. So do you want to do that now or later? Or
yeah, no, let's do that now. And I'm just curious, 300. How did you calculate that yourselves, or does the app do that? Or
no, you would have to be a nerd and calculate that yourself. So basically, like, what's the ride at when we're about to walk to the front, right? Like, what's the ride at? So if it's at, and I was fair and I even subtracted, if we waited 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, I pulled that off. So it was the net difference between the posted time and what we actually waited. So, I mean, take that even with a grain of salt, because sometimes the posted time isn't actually the time. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's at, and sometimes it's more. So this is, generally, kind of a number that you'd hold on to. But yeah, between
it's half a day,
both of those, that is 300 minutes is 5 hours. Yeah. Like, that's 5 hours that we would have been standing in line. No, it's not. It's not 5 hours that we would have been standing in line. We would have done 2 rides is what it is. Or we would have done different rides that we didn't want to do instead of these rides. That's what the Genie Plus can be if you use it properly. It's the rides you want to ride, lots of them, And it is emotionally so satisfying to say, I want to do that ride. Let's go do that ride. And we're on it, especially when you're traveling with a young one who may not be interested in standing in line. And he doesn't even have his brothers with him or a friend or something. Like he's got me, which is cool. But like, I don't know if we're going to play the same games that he would play with his brothers or with friends or something like that. So those hours standing in line really can be taxing and can taint the vacation, and especially on a short vacation, we wanted to maximize our time.
How many rides did you get in that Magic Kingdom?
7 on the Genie Plus. We had also gotten 2 lightning lanes that day, one for Mine Train, individual lightning lanes, the paid, separated one. And we did Remy that day as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it was 9 cut the line queues. When you're traveling with 2 people, the cost doesn't multiply as quickly as when you're in a family of 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. But so the 2 really makes a lot of sense. If you're a couple or if you're a small family, I really think that the quality of the experience you're going to have at Disney is vastly superior with the use of Genie Plus than it is without. Understanding how you might want to tour. So these tips come with a caveat, and that is that the best utilization, I believe, of this system is afternoon lightning lanes that you are stacking over the course of the day. You should be rope dropping. I mean, if you're up anyway at 7 a.m., right, you should be rope dropping anyway. So rope drop the parks, stay ahead of the crowds on the rides you want to ride at park number 1, that park that you're at the beginning of the day. Once you get to about 2 hours after park opening, the crowds are saturated. Go ahead and enjoy either low ride time rides, something like a Tiki Room or a Country Bears that you're just going to, wait for a show to cull through and then you get on, or, go to an actual show, go to an Indiana Jones, go to, a Frozen Forever, go to some of the shows like that, or just enjoy walking around the park, maybe even leave the park. And once you get to that noon time, go enjoy, lounge if you're of age and of interest, go back to your room and enjoy the pool or a nap or something like that. And all the while, every 2 hours, stacking lightning lanes for later. So here's the tips. All right. The official Glen Kessler Tipmeister Genie Plus tips coming your way. All right. Number 1, set alarms. This is the key across the entire day. This is the key to success. You must set alarms on your phone. I would always set them for about 5 minutes ahead of time. Give me time to make sure I'm in a location where I have a good signal. So then I want to check and make sure some of those rise of resistance tips. I'm using a speed test app from Ookla to make sure that I have either a good data connection or a good Wi-Fi connection. Be wary of the Wi-Fi connection if you're on Disney property, because at 7 o'clock or the 2 hour intervals, lots of people are going to be stealing your Wi-Fi and are going to be splicing that speed down to nothing. So if you're on Disney property, if you know that lots of people around you are going to be using the Wi-Fi, use the data, find a good data connection. But if you're off property or you're somewhere, maybe even at your home, an off property place that has its own Wi-Fi, not a lot of people are going to be splicing that. Use the Wi-Fi, right? That makes sense. All right. So get set, find a location. And also, what should you be doing in anticipation of that? Figuring out the app. If you haven't gone and hung out on the app, the 2 parts that you're going to need are Tip Board and My Day. Before anything gets going, you can do this an hour before 7 o'clock. So starting at 6 a.m., you can set your party of who is going to be included in this. Make sure that you do this beforehand. You've got an hour to play with it. So don't let it surprise you as you're getting close to 7 and the stress level is going up. Pre-select your party. Again, only at 6 o'clock will you be prompted to do that. Do make sure that you, of course, have your park reservation. Those things are, going to need to be set for that day. Then stack up your Disney day, your tip board with 1 and only 1 ride, or maybe 2, whatever are the rides that you're going for right at 7 o'clock. That's all you want to select. So basically to kind of talk you through that, when you open up the app and go to some of the Genie functions, it's going to say, oh, what kind of stuff are you interested in? Don't select everything you're actually interested in. Don't say, oh, I'd like to see Country Bears and I might want to do a meal here later. Select none of that. Nothing except the one ride or two rides that you are looking to get your Genie Plus or your individual lightning lane selections of. You can always later, after 7 o'clock, go back and reselect whatever you want there and edit it. But right now you want this. What that'll mean is that those one or two items show up right at the top of your feed. You don't have to go searching in the alphabetical order of all of the rides and shows and everything that's down there.
For like Magic Kingdom, would they be a couple of the hard ones to get, like Peter Pan? Right. Or Splash Mountain kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So this is whatever your number one toughest to get thing that you're going for that day is. That's the one or two that you want right up at the top. So Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, if you're buying the individual lightning lane, put that one at the top. Peter Pan, if that's your fancy, put that one at the top. Guardians, of course. If you're doing that, you've got to put Guardians at the top. If you've got a park reservation for Epcot that day, you want to go in and select that ride and only that ride, or possibly Remy's if you want to do both of those, or possibly if you want to do Genie Plus as well, or Enter Test Track.
If you're buying an individual lightning lane, though, you still would put that up there. Like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is one you can buy, right? Extra.
Yes, extra. So you want to put up at the top Virtual Queue, which currently is just Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Yeah. That's the only one. But when, in a couple of months, that'll be Tron. That's how you're going to do Tron. The same thing. You want to make sure that you pre-select that up at the top, even though you're going for a virtual queue or an individual lightning lane, put that one right at the top. Okay. If you're going for a hard to get Genie Plus, like you said, Kurt, Peter Pan, or what else would be a tough one? Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage is not. That's an individual. Space Mountain. Perfect. If you're going for those and you want those, first, then select that and only that. This is a crucial tip. This is going to put them right up at the top. So those milliseconds, those seconds actually really do matter. Yep. All right. So, and I think it's already been well worn that Genie Plus, you do not have choice of the time that you are given, but individual lightning lane, you do. All right. So, and virtual queue is like Genie Plus. You don't have choice over what time. You're just going to get whatever boarding group that you're going to get. A lot like Rise of Resistance used to be. It's the way that Guardians is now, and I'm sure the way that Tron will be when it opens up. So that first ride that you book has to be the most urgent one. At this moment, summer of 2022, it is Guardians of the Galaxy that you want to book first. That ride will book up in its entirety for the entire 7 o'clock option in seconds, 2-3 seconds maximum. So that must be the first one that you go for.
Right.
After that, if you do or do not get Guardians and you want to ride it again a second time, or you didn't get it at the 7 o'clock virtual queue and you want to pay for it, I would make the individual lightning lane of that ride your second go, because that one's going to book up in, I'm finding, minutes. So I did it about 5 times, over the course of the 6 days that I was there. And it books up in, I would say, about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the day. But it's gone, after 5 minutes. Now, some got re-released later. We'll talk about that another time, maybe. But go for 2 minutes. You've got about that much time to play with on that individual lightning lane. And then if you want to go for your Genie Plus, after that might be the advisable time to go for that one. And here's the reason why I'm putting that, third. People are screaming. They're just like, but wait, all the while you're doing those other two, the Genie Plus times are pushing later and later in the day. You don't have a lot of choice. If you're trying to get a really popular Peter Pan, that's going to push to later in the day. You want later in the day for your first Genie Plus. This is the strategy I would recommend. Ideally, if your park opens at, let's say, 8 o'clock a.m., if your park opens at 8 o'clock, if that's an Animal Kingdom, then you want to book that first Genie Plus that you're getting for after 4 p.m. Maybe 4:15 would be great. Why? Because what's going to happen, so you're booking this at 7 a.m. What's going to happen as soon as your park opens, you're going to get the choice to get another Genie Plus. And then every 2 hours, so 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you're going to get another option to book another Genie Plus. And this is, of course, what's called stacking. So by the time you get down to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if you've done it right, you've stacked the 8 o'clock, or let's say the 7 o'clock, the 8 o'clock, the 10 o'clock, the 12 o'clock, the 2 o'clock, and the 4 o'clock. That's 6 by my count. 6 Genie Pluses are already sitting there, plus the 2 lightning lanes that you've got. And you just blitz through those rides and those lines. At that point, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, those lines are probably at 30, 60, maybe 90 minutes for some of the rides, like a Big Thunder or a Splash Mountain. And you're just going to walk right onto it. Only after you redeem the last one of those, or 6 o'clock it comes up, can you book another one? And then once you've redeemed all of them, then you can do like old Fast Pass, just one after another, after another, after another. At that point, I would redeem for 5 minutes from now. What's the next ride 5 minutes from now? Even if you're just cutting a 15-minute line for Buzz Lightyear or 20 minutes on Pirates, you're saving 15 and 20 minutes at the end of the day, and you can just get so many more of these lightning lanes, and you're just buzzing through, and it doesn't cost you anything.
So what was your day like then at Magic Kingdom with this strategy? Use Magic Kingdom as an example. What was the time you started your day, and when did all your lightning lanes fall into place?
Mature. So this is exactly what we did on that day. So we started, that was an Animal Kingdom morning. Actually, no, it wasn't. I'm sorry. That was an Epcot morning. So we had an 8:30 a.m. park opening. So we were not able to be on the 8 o'clock, but we were at 8:30. So at 7 o'clock, we grabbed, I grabbed a couple of lightning lanes, Cosmic Rewind, Remy, not seeing it. Oh yeah, Peter Pan, right? So we grabbed a Peter Pan at rope drop because I knew that line would get long, right? Like you said, and then at 10 o'clock grabbed Jungle Cruise for 6 p.m. At 12 o'clock grabbed Splash for 5:20. At 2 o'clock grabbed Big Thunder for 4 o'clock. So at that point we had Peter Pan, Splash, Jungle Cruise, and Big Thunder all locked in for after 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And by the time we got to after 4 o'clock, those lines were at 60 minutes, for some of those rides.
So at Epcot, you had Guardians and you had Remy. Did you do anything else at Epcot?
Not really. No, because he got sick on Guardians.
You could have rope dropped Soarin', right?
We could have done Soarin'. Well, we did do we rope dropped Test Track is what we did. Rope drop. I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed that. So we ran over to Test Track first because he loves the thrill of that. And then we went to Cosmic Rewind right after that. But he got sick.
Okay.
We had super early time. We had 8:20. It was like 10 minutes before the park opened. We went and redeemed our lightning lane because we were over there. And I said, do you want to go on Mission Space and then do Cosmic Rewind? And then I was like, wait a second, if he gets nauseous on Mission Space, then I'm done for Cosmic Rewind. So let's do Cosmic Rewind straight off the bat. And he got sick there. So, okay, that was the end of that. And that kind of put a damper on our day. But
so it did allow you to park hop.
Yep.
I mean, maybe a lot of people don't realize that, but you just snuck that in there. You park hopped on this example.
Yep.
What did you do in between Epcot and Magic Kingdom?
No, we just went straight. Just went straight over. So we took the Epcot monorail up to the TTC, transferred, and got up to Magic Kingdom pretty quick. So a couple of days.
You can't make a park hop till 2 o'clock, right?
Correct. Yeah. So, and that's another thing. If you're going for an early. If you're park hopping and you accidentally get something before 1 o'clock, then you'd be in trouble because there is a 1 hour window and a couple of minutes of grace period after that you can still redeem your Genie Plus. I mean, that's by the book. Honestly, cast members would probably let you in anytime afterwards, but you want to book it later anyway.
I'll just add a bonus here for the summer, or which lasts a long time in Florida for as far as heat. Like into October, this strategy works really well if you want to go back to the pool, right? In the midday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. That's the day that I would carve out for myself. Is I would go. Now, we didn't on this day just because, I don't know, we were having a good time at Epcot, relaxing and enjoying. But that would be my strategy. Like I said, rope drop, leave when it gets to lunchtime, go to the pool, relax, but make sure that you are setting your alarm for every 2 hours so that you're able to get that Genie Plus, and then come 4 o'clock, bop over to your final park of the day and just walk on to all of your favorite rides. I mean, this is the new Kessler run is what this is, right? This is what we do now is try to maximize this strategy here.
That's a fun pool activity.
It is. Hey, I wanted to say one more thing because there's a little confusion. I hear a lot of people talking about how, to their chagrin, you don't have choice of the time for your Genie Plus selections. That is not entirely true. What will happen? Go in 5 minutes before, like I said, set your alarm for 5 minutes before you're ready to actually grab that next Genie Plus. So if it's 2 o'clock that you sidled up for at 1:55, make sure your alarm goes off, and then go into the tip board on your phone, and it will tell you what you can anticipate the redemption time, that the return time will be for all of the rides. If you scroll through, you'll see, Barnstormer is expecting, I'm looking at it right now, Barnstormer is expecting 9:45, Buzz Lightyear, I guess they're going to close in a couple of minutes anyway. So it'll tell you which rides are available at which time. So if you know that you want to try to be in a certain area at 6 p.m., make sure that you get one that says that its redemption time is approaching 6 p.m. You got an hour to play with, and you can always redeem a little after. They'll say no more than 5 minutes before and 10 or 15 after, sure. But most cast members will let you in. You just, tell them you got delayed or something like that. But you know that ahead of time. You can see it right on the app. So don't click on a button that says redemption time is 11 a.m. If you're looking for something 5 p.m., you're going to get something in the 11 a.m. Hour. So do a little bit of that research beforehand. And one extra super bonus tip that I realized on this last trip: seconds matter all through the day. When you book your fast passes, your lightning lane, your Genie Pluses, let me say it right. When you book your Genie Plus at, let's say, 8:30 a.m., your 2 hour to the next time you can book won't start until you have finally ultimately selected your ride at 8:30. So if you delay and you hem and haw for 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and you just missed your time and you wait 5 minutes after, you will not get to redeem at 10:30. It'll be 10:35. Or if you redeem at 8:30 and 30 seconds, then you will not get to redeem until 10:30 and 30 seconds. Okay, what's that about? Well, the people who tap quickly will get first crack at all those times that are listed. And the people who are a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes behind, they're falling behind more and more and more during the day. So if you know what you want to get, you've strategized, that's the one I'm going for, tap, 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 just like it's 7 a.m. Tap, 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 get through it quickly, so that you're only losing 2, 5, 10 seconds every time. So that way you'll stay ahead of all of the rest of the people who are not working as quickly and are getting 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes behind. So you'll always get the time that's listed there on the tip board for your redemption time. Once I figured that out, that I'm clicking on it, it's like, hey man, it said I can redeem. It actually says it when you can redeem your next Genie Plus. It says 10:30. It doesn't say seconds, but it says 10:30. And I'm clicking at 10:30. It's not working. Finally, 30 seconds later, it clicked through. Because it took me 30 seconds at 8:30 to pass through the buttons because I was waiting. And, so those minutes matter, those seconds matter. It's not listed, but it is keeping score. And if you do that, you'll stay ahead, and you'll get all the rides that you're looking for. So that was our Genie Plus tips. I hope that's of help and assistance to you guys out there. I know I'm kind of crazy about this stuff and neurotic about this stuff, but it's because you can change your day. You can actually change your experience. And with those little ones, cutting the line is magical. They get that thrill, kind of walking with that VIP attitude, like we're going right to the front of the line. Harrison's a numbers guy like me. He loved doing the calculations. Oh man, we saved 330 minutes today, of standing in lines. He got a thrill out of that. Right. And it just makes the day a little bit more fun. It's kind of a game you're playing if you allow it to be. Don't get too stressed out. I mean, you'll slip a little bit, 10 minutes, 20 minutes here in a ride queue if you don't get it. No worries. But if you want to maximize, I think that's a great way to do it.
I think this is another legendary tip segment with Glen Kessler. I think you might make some more fans and be recognized in the parks some more, Glen, after this episode. You might get a few more thank yous.
It makes me really happy during those Rise of the Resistance tip days, Kurt. People would be emailing and tagging, and you helped our vacation. And that's really why I kind of do this madness, to improve my vacation, but then to share it with our community so people can enjoy themselves a little better. So as long as we stay ahead of the curve and everybody knows these tips, before the masses, we can continue to have those great trips.
A quick story for just you and me, but at the Albany meetup this past weekend, I had a fun conversation with Nancy Patterson, and I was asking her how she found our podcast. And she's an avid podcast and YouTube researcher for Disney World. She was really getting excited, as you know, for her trip. She said she was listening. I won't even mention which podcast, but she says, I got to find another podcast that's positive like this one. And she came across our podcast, and she kept hearing about this Glen Kessler guy. And one of the reasons she stuck with our podcast was she goes, I got to figure out who this guy is. I got to go. So you won over. She had to figure out who you were, but after she did, you won her over too. So you gained another listener for me.
Well, Nancy is a sweetheart. I had a great time meeting her and her husband and her beautiful son over at the G3 last time. So that warms my heart. That is so cute. And she's special. And I know she's very knowledgeable about her Disneydom, and that means a lot that she found our community has become an integral member. I love seeing her. I love seeing her at the Albany meetup, virtually. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to share that with you guys. Just a little too far for me down here.
I know for sure she's one who's going to love those tips, and there's going to be lots of others. All right. Speaking of tips, well, I want to ask you, but before we leave Harrison, any memorable moments, special times that stuck with you on this with Harrison?
No memorable moments with Harry. Yeah, of course, so many great moments, but I'll keep it short. I just want to say real quick, we had some wonderful run-ins. I already mentioned Gina and Shannon that we got to meet. The next day, we got to hang out with Amanda Bond and Rachel Miller over at Hollywood Studios, and they are just such a kick. I had not met Rachel. I'd met Amanda at the last G3, and I feel like I've known Amanda forever. So that was great to see her again. But Rachel, I'd never ever met, and I've seen her a million times on the Facebook page and the Puta Tigger, and she's a very special person, and I wanted to meet her, and she and I just got right into it. We were taking silly selfies. I was like, oh, I know that Rachel Miller pose. I got to do that Rachel Miller pose, and with the leg and everything like that. And we just had a goofy time. Like 5 minutes, but like hanging out like we are old buddies. And this is literally the first 5 minutes I've been in her presence. That's a wonderful thing about this community, is that we are just immediate fast friends. I hope to be able to spend more time with her and Amanda and everybody at a G3 or something like that. I know when I'm just there with my little guy, it's a different dynamic. We'd love to have some more fun with geeks like her. As far as some memorable memories with Harrison, of course, the elephant and all those animal experiences, really, really kind of tops of the list for sure. But we had a great experience doing the fireworks our way at Magic Kingdom. My favorite way to do the fireworks at Magic Kingdom, and this would be different if it was happily ever after, but it ain't. So our favorite way to do the fireworks at Magic Kingdom now is on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Anyone who has ridden Big Thunder during the fireworks knows this is, I think, one of the hidden, most magical experiences on Disney property. Number one, that roller coaster is very long, so you get a nice long experience with the fireworks popping. But guys, they launch a tremendous amount of those fireworks from right there behind Big Thunder. Not all of them come from over by the castle. So we timed it perfectly. I had one of my Genie Pluses that I knew, I was like, ooh, if I can get it for this window, I know when to walk through the queue, how long it's going to take me to get on, so we can hit that middle. I know that show is about 20 minutes long. So we stood outside pacing the lightning lane until it was the right time. And then we darted in at the right time. And there was a fella right behind us, maybe a 20, 25-year-old kid. And I'm talking to him in the line. I was like, oh, did you time it for fireworks too? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, you don't know? You are about to have the most incredible experience of your Disneydom right now, as these fireworks are going to pop over your head. And it's going to feel like the whole show is specifically for you right here on this ride. And sure enough, as we came out of that first lift hill with the bats and the craziness and everything like that, a gigantic red firework explodes right in front of all of our eyes. Harrison loses his mind because we've been talking about this to the dude. I turn around, I look at the dude, and he's going crazy. He's like, oh my God, that is right here in front of my face. And I'm whooping it up. And that ride keeps going, for those 3 lift hills and all those experiences. And it is absolutely magical. I've done it probably 4 times. It never disappoints. I'm not into enchantment. I don't really care about that show, but having those fireworks popping right above our head was just magical. And Harrison was talking about it the whole rest of the night. Just an incredible. Put that on your list, guys, if you've never done that one before.
Fantastic.
I'll give you one more. Our Kessler tradition is to close down Magic Kingdom on your favorite ride, Kurt. I know, the Astro Orbiter. We love it. We love going up to the Astro Orbiter as the last ride. So we got in the line about 2 minutes before the park closed, and we're on it 30 minutes after the park had been closed. But it's the park is illuminated. It's pitch black. The neon is everywhere in Tomorrowland. We're way up high. You can see the castle. You can see Main Street and the Plaza Hotel and all the lights that are over there. It is just an awesome, kind of visual spectacle. Between that and the fireworks, that was one after the next. And we threw in a Buzz Lightyear, galactic hero, between there. It was a heck of a night. And as we were leaving the park, it was almost midnight. And he got a kick out of that. He's like, I can't believe I'm up until almost midnight. I put him on my shoulder and we walked through. We got some photo pass pictures right in front of the castle. Just absolutely magical way to end a Magic Kingdom night. And we slept well. And we had another day after that, and we did some fun stuff. But that was really, I think, the takeaway I'll have between the animals and that night at Magic Kingdom. Special memories with my little special guy.
Oh my gosh, fantastic. And just for those who don't know what Glenn was referencing to, the Astro Orbiter, it's not that I don't like it, it's that I can't fit on it. I can't get in it. I'm too big. I tried.
Space Mountain, there's some rides at Tomorrowland that are not fun, not very playful.
I can get on Space Mountain. I can fit on it. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable thing to ride, but Astro Orbiter, I was so excited. I waited a long time in line, and then I got up there and I couldn't get on it. Physically could not fit in it. All right. Glenn, this has been amazing. And we're just going to keep bringing it because Glenn and I have talked about this. He's done these tips in bits and pieces is all I can remember. So I was wanting him to give a little bonus here, and Glen Kessler's Toy Story Mania tips. So if you're still hanging in there and you want to beat, a family member on Toy Story Mania because you listen to podcasts, Glenn's going to give you the way to get some of those Easter eggs and blast through it.
Absolutely. And, we're not competitive. We're not competitive. We do it all for the fun and for the love. But yeah, if you just really want to stick it to that family member who's been on you, this is the way you do it. You get to glow. So Toy Story Midway Mania is the shooting game. And the first thing we got to talk about is your strategy for how to pull the darn trigger. All right. Because it's a rope. Now, if you are so lucky as to get, there is like one handicap, maybe, I don't know what I think it's because my father used it. He's was 88 the last time we went, and he was on his mobility scooter, and they put him in a special one that had a button that you could hit. This is cheating. You get this one, but you should absolutely get like a million if you get to that. Anyway, for most of us, it's going to be that pulley system. So you want to think about how are you going to pull that thing fast enough. Now, I've watched a number of videos. I've tested things out myself, and I think the best technique is actually the overarm technique. All right, so you got to reach your arm over the top and pull it towards you with your elbow up in the air. All right, this sounds weird, but trust me, it's going to go faster than if you have your elbow down and you're pulling on it, and it's not going to burn your arm as much. You might feel it in the shoulder, but all right. Hopefully your stamina is going to last.
You will feel it in the shoulder.
Oh my God, this ride is murder. I want to do it 2-3 times in a row, but I just can't. My arm will fall off, right?
Do you have a workout program to prepare for this?
We need a new Pooh to Tigger group that is all about Toy Story Mania. It's all deltoid and forearm work. There's nothing else that we're doing there. Maybe hand-eye coordination too. All right. First tip, don't waste any arm strength on the practice round in the beginning where you're shooting pies at Buzz and Woody and
save yourself for the main event.
Save yourself. You're going to need it. All right. There are basically five rooms or 5 scenes that you're going to go through. They're always in the exact same order. And so here they are. In the first room is going to have barn animals around it. And the tips that I like to follow are shoot the barn animals. There are going to be 3 animals up in the barn. They are very small animals, and the barn is either in the top right or the top left, depending on which screen. So it could be a hard angle for you to get. But take some time and hit those. While you're waiting for those, do be shooting other things, 500 pointers, of course. But you want to shoot the 3 animals that are up in the barn. Once you do so, the entire barn level will flip upside down. It will reveal a new barn, which will have a couple of new animals. If you knock out those animals that are in that barn, the entire level is going to explode with 500, 1,000, and 2,000 point characters all over the place. And it's really fun to see the barn flip upside down. So that's kind of cool in and of itself. I will tell you, as I was prepping for tonight's episode, I went online and found that there is a totally different sheet in that room, a totally different strategy, which I have never tried before, but I will on my next trip in October. I'll report back then. But there are some characters in the bottom left-hand corner. If you hit a gopher and some ducks in the bottom left-hand corner, they keep repopulating at 500, then 1,000, and then 2,000. I've never tried that one before, but go ahead and try that one and experience for yourself. But I have gotten the barn ones every time we do it. It's not hard to get those. And that can net, 50, 60,000 points just in that first room alone.
Nice.
Next room is the volcano room. This is my favorite of the rooms. The first thing you're going to do is shoot the wiggly lava one that's right at the center of the volcano. In your first round, it's just going to be a single balloon. As soon as that one gets popped, it's going to refill with now 2 squiggly, long, thin balloons as lava on the volcano. Knock those 2 out. And then 3 will come in and knock those 3 out that show up on the volcano. Again, if there's any lag time between the first to the second to the third, do be shooting other things. Don't get so focused on the lava that's all you're doing, that you're just waiting around. But as soon as you hit the 3 lava flows, balloons, the volcano is going to erupt. Aim like crazy. This is when you want to wear your arm out. Aim for the mouth of the volcano and 100 balloons, maybe not 100, but like 20 balloons are going to pop out of there. Big point balloons are going to pop out of there. And you can hit all of them if you're aiming right at the top of the volcano. They will not have a chance to spill out into the broader scene. If you don't aim, then they're going to spill and you can get them. Catch as catch can. Once you've done that, you're not done yet. That then brings up 2 meteors, one in the top left and one in the top right of the screen. Hit them once, hit them twice, hit them 3 times. And you'll probably want to do one at a time, left 1, 1, 2, 3, right 1, 1, 2, 3. And once those disappear, then the level absolutely goes bonkers and explodes with 1,000 and 2,000. I think there's even some 5,000 point balloons that show up there. But this takes a while, right? You got to really be on those, the volcano first, and then the meteors take some time. So if you're there with a friend, have a friend do the right volcano, you do the left, or vice versa, to knock the meteors, 1, 2, 3, to knock those meteors out real quick so that you can bring up all those big point balloons that are going to show up after that. So that's it for that one. You can get huge points in this room. You can get 100,000 points in this room if you're able. All right. The next one is the little 3-eyed aliens that show up. So the little alien room, if you haven't been paying attention, right in the center, they're actually standing on a rocket ship. It doesn't look like much if you're not paying attention, but it's a flat cutout rocket ship. There's about, I want to say 8 of them in what looks like kind of whack-a-mole holes that they will pop out of. The key here is hitting all 8 of them and having them all gone at the same time. Now they're going to pop back up like whack-a-mole. So if you don't hit them real fast, then one's going to pop up and then another one's going to pop up, and you're going to constantly be playing catch up. So you and your partner, if you're traveling with a partner, or you by yourself, if you're by yourself, try to get all of those 8 guys right at the beginning, knock them out. If you do this, the rocket ship will fly away, and behind the rocket ship, there is a robot's head. The robot's head will open up its mouth periodically. When it opens up its mouth, you throw rings, is what we're using on this level. You throw the rings into the mouth of the robot. Now, the first time it opens its mouth, you get 100 points for every ring you throw in there. Don't waste your time. Shoot the 5,000 alien and the 2,000 and the 1,000 aliens that are scattered all over the room. Don't waste your time on the robot for the first time it opens its mouth. The second time the robot opens its mouth, 500 points. Don't waste your time throwing rings in the mouth when it's 500 points. There's bigger points all around the room. The third time the robot opens its mouth, it's 1,000 points for every ring. Now go bonkers. Just like when you were shooting at the top of the volcano, you are releasing that thing into the mouth. And then the fourth time and any other time, if it opens up its mouth, it's 2,000 points. And blast that's where your big points are. You can get big points here, another 100,000 or so on this level. But you got to get that rocket ship gone immediately. If you don't get the rocket ship gone immediately, give up on trying to get the rocket ship, because you will not get through the 100 and the 500 to the 1,000. So don't waste your time. Go after the other guys that are 5,000 and 2,000 that'll keep repopulating in the room. All right?
All right.
Fourth room. This is the plates that you are throwing like baseballs at and breaking the plates. This is not your mother's plates. All right. This one is almost impossible to do by yourself. I've only done it once by myself. So this one you need a partner, I think. What will happen is on the left side and the right side of the mountain range that is there, 2 plates are going to be thrown up at the same time from behind the mountain range. They're going to linger only up there for a second, and then they're going to drop back down behind the mountain range. You need to hit both plates, one on the left and one on the right, on the same toss. If you hit one, and that's it, you won't get the special thing. If you hit the other one on the second throw, it doesn't get, you've got to hit them both on the same toss. So again, you need a partner. I've done it once by myself where I kind of launched it, where I knew it was gonna show up, and then I immediately turned my gun and shot to the other side. But man, that's hard to get the accuracy and the speed on that one. If you do this, you will have a ton of 2,000, 5,000 plates just being thrown at you. So just be ready to scan and blast the whole thing. Then there's I should say, once you do that, the mountain range, the big mountain in the middle disappears. It goes up, and there's a tank that's behind there, and the tank is what's shooting plates at you. So shoot the tank plates and all the big other plates that come at you. I can't remember how much you get in this room, but I'm sure it's another one or 200,000 points. Now the final room is the one that's got the mine carts, and it's got like an old saloon targets on it. So when you start the room, there's going to be, I think it's 6 targets. There may be 100 points each. What the strategy for how to do this room, open up, hit each one of those original 6. When you hit any one of those, they flower into like a daisy of other points, like 500, 200, 500 points that are around it. So you spring all the original 6 so that all the daisies are open, and then clear the board of everything else. It'll take you some time, but clear that whole board of all the daisies this will then make the level go crazy, and you're going to get 500, 1,000, and 2,000 daisies all over the place, and just go nuts and get tons of points right there. Final thing that's going to start moving you, of course, is when it starts moving you to the mine carts that come at you. Just obviously try to keep that pretty level and shoot the mine carts. There are going to be bats up top. Those are big points. Hit those. Just generally, try to avoid hitting anything that's only 100. Try to avoid anything that's 500, and really focus on the 1,000 and the 2,000 pointers everywhere you go. Think about it. You've got to knock out 20 hits on a 100-point target to equal 1 hit on a 2,000 point target. Like, spend your time trying to hit the 2,000s and the 1,000s. Don't waste your arm strength trying to hit the 100s at all. And then just go nuts on that final bullseye when you're just wasting your arm and you're about to die. And you can feel that lactic acid burning, explode that last little bullseye. And then hopefully you are a bear by the end, and you've set the high score for your cart, your hour, maybe the day, or even the month. Good luck, geeks. Those are the tips. Were you recording for any of that?
Fantastic. Yes, I got that all down. Can you remember it when you go to Toy Story Mania on your next trip? Glenn, what's your best score, you think, ever?
I want to say I got 360 something a couple of trips ago. I went with the problem. You got to have a helpful partner. Right? So I actually watched a video today, and he was adamant that you should do this thing solo. All right. That you should do it solo. His comment was that when you're with another person, they're taking lots of points away from you. In the video that I watched, he got 600,000 points. So maybe there's something to it that he got double what I've ever gotten. I just don't know how you do that plate one consistently with just one person. The aliens is tough. If I would say go with a partner who you coordinate with ahead of time, that you know what the strategies are.
That makes it fun too. Yeah.
I think so. Have a little fun. I mean, this is not just about getting a high score and taking a picture of it. It's about having a memory. So go enjoy yourself. If you break 200,000, you're going to feel great about yourself. You break 300, you're going to be on that board at the end of the ride, and you can take a picture of that. And if you get, one of these crazy bonkers, 400, 600,000, please take a picture and call me, because I want to know how you did it, because you got some tips for me. I need to hear them.
And maybe for the next G3, we'll have a competition just for fun.
Just for fun.
And prizes. My gosh, Glenn, you still bring it after all these years.
I'm exhausted, Kurt. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm all tipped out, and I'm going to go rest on these arms.
We spent all your energy this episode. So Glenn, is there anything left that did we leave out? You had lots of notes tonight.
I think we covered all of my notes. I just want to say how special and thankful I am for this incredible community. As I watched the Albany meetup transpiring this past weekend, I think Holly Fitch posted something on Facebook that really, really spoke to me and warmed my heart. And I know we talked about it, Kurt, you and I, before we were recording. I just wanted to put it on here at the end. Holly said that during COVID, there was a little something called Mouse Quiz that Chad was hosting, Disney trivia. And a lot of us geeks were tuning in, Crushers were tuning in, a lot of the other podcasts were tuning in. And that's where Holly, first started connecting with the Disney community that would, later mature into her involvement with G3. And she wrote something just so beautiful about how that initial interaction of trivia in our homes on the internet morphed into a connection to a Facebook group and podcast, and that morphed into coming to a physical meetup down at Disney World with a bunch of crazy internet friends. That then just this past weekend, morphed into friends that didn't even go to Disney World and went up to Albany, New York, of all places, and just hung out and had the freaking best time. And if you have not seen the video of the reenactment of Happily Ever After at the Hilton, like, oh my God, and Jeopardy tournaments, and just the energy and the positivity and the caring and connection of this community. I think Holly really hit the nail on the head with that comment about how this community welcomes you in and bonds you with people who are just so kind and so sweet. We don't even need Disney at this point. When we go to Disney, we don't even do much of the rides anymore. It's just hanging out with friends and sharing a kinship and a connection. I'm always ever so thankful for that. So I'm going to throw out one quick plug. Who knows, Kurt, when this is going to air, this episode is going to air. It may even be after, but we have a Maryland Geek meetup that is coming in August, Saturday, August 27th. Outside of Annapolis, there is a little something called the Renaissance Festival. And we got one together last year and had, I want to say maybe 8 or 9 geeks that were in attendance. There were more people, family members and stuff like that, but 8 or 9 listeners that were there. Jen Batchelder, of course, and Nancy, Elizabeth, Christy Houston, and we're trying to get as many people as we can to come this year. I know we've got some people coming in from pretty far out of town. We're going to have some prizes. Trey Nolan's trying to make it up here. Madison Pickle is coming up here, and I believe Samantha is going to be put into someone's luggage in New York on a train and brought down here. So Sam will be here, I hope, and Jen Wynn, I think, is trying to make it happen. And of course, and those usual suspects that I already mentioned. Jeff Kessler, of course, will be there. I'll be there and would love to see you guys there. So if this airs before that, you can organize some plans. We'll also have some activities for the 26th and the 28th as well for people who want to arrive early or stick around a little bit later. Let us know. Let me know, or any of the Maryland geeks that I just mentioned know, and we'll get you into our messenger group that we are now coordinating on that. So hopefully we can create some of that magic that you guys just did up in Albany. That's a hard act to follow, but we do have a lot more Old Bay down here, so there is that. Maybe not on a fake lobster roll, but we got some power. And there may actually be a themed costume aspect to what we're doing. Don't let that scare you off. You don't have to dress up, but I think some of us who may want to play around and dress up. Honestly, I'm just jealous of that Alice in Wonderland Dapper Day that everyone pulled off a couple of weeks ago. That we want to do something fun as a group. So we might do a little something for that meetup. We're still planning that out.
Well, I certainly will be promoting this on the outros of all the episodes coming up here before that August meetup down in Maryland. That's fantastic. Yeah, sometimes we think alike, Glenn. I said the same thing in my little bit of remarks up in Albany. I remember talking to someone about geeks getting together somewhere outside of the parks, and what in the world, why would they do that, and what would they do when they got together? I was so intrigued by that, but I was talking to some other folks that were doing this, and they said, I think it was in Pennsylvania, they had a Disney World kind of get together. It started out small with a few people showing up, and then year after year, it just grew and grew and grew. That's starting to happen in Albany. I'm noticing, even through COVID. So We'll see how these all go.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I mean, like Albany is not a terribly central location. So it's amazing that it is even becoming such a hook. I know you've got the Maine ladies and the New Yorkers and the Ohioans can kind of make that long trip out there. It's a little too far for us, I think, down in Maryland. So we're going to keep holding ours down here. But yeah, if there's more people who want to plan events like this, I know there are a lot of Ohio geeks. That would be a real great hub. I think. I'm not trying to, tell people what to do, but it's fun when we get together. I have really fond memories of last year's Maryland Geek Meetup, and of course, it netted all the Old Bay that I brought to G3 and all that nonsense. Great to be able to hang out with, sweet, kind, like-minded people. And we never are at a loss for things to talk about, between Disney and other shared, kind of interests. There's always a good time to be had.
Fantastic, Glenn. Well, awesome talking to you, and stay in touch. All right.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird internet friends. I think I don't know that I can hang out with you people anymore. It's been good knowing you. Enjoy the tips. Kurt, I love you, man. You are, I don't know if you're my brother or what, my like funny uncle or something like that. But like you are my dearest friend. I love it. And I can't wait to hopefully see you in the parks again in person and not miss you by 5 days on either side of a trip.
I'm your spirit animal.
Yeah. And you know what more? I love you.
I know.
Beautiful. All right. Take care,
Good
man.
job, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate always talking with the geeks.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Always great talking to Glenn. He's got so many fans out there, and I'm so glad we covered his 2 trip reports and some more of those legendary tips. One of the things I want to do is write them all down and put them on my website for you guys so you can refer back to them really easy. Look for that in the coming week or so. Love to shout out to Holly Fitch and the whole community. And he wants me to remind you, he's got a Maryland Geek Meet coming up. It's the Renaissance Fair like they did last year. It's going to be August 27th. That's a Saturday. Coming up soon. Now that we're into August. It's the 2022 Maryland Geek Meet. Again, August 27th at the Renaissance Festival. All are welcome that are listening to this podcast. He loves the community. Chat with Glenn if you plan on going so he can be on the lookout for you. A shout out to a new member, Tammy Shields, who is Brandy Shields' mother-in-law. You might remember on one of my coffee walks when I was down at the Riviera, I think it was the first day, Brandy and Tammy surprised me. Like 6:30 in the morning outside the Riviera while I was walking and talking into my recorder that I released on patreon.com. If you go out to patreon.com, you can listen to that. I made that available to anybody. It's open to the public. Get an idea of what those live recordings are like. And I'd love it if you would support me on Patreon. Patreon.com is a website you can go out to and pledge a monthly donation to the show. There's also an annual option there too. And I thank you so much for all of you supporters. I released episode 125 of The Inner Circle. That's a bonus podcast episode. I've been releasing the live recordings from my trip in June. This one includes all of the music from the Festival of the Lion King. And also, it's a Wednesday morning at the Riviera coffee walk. And then next coming up this week, you're going to hear me chatting with my good pal, Rob Maderi, who had a birthday recently. Happy birthday, Rob. And I'll be recording with Rob, I think this week on Tuesday, because he did a Disneyland trip. And I want to get all the details of Disneyland. That is a trip I really want to take Margita on one of these days. Got to start planning that. Thanks again to Megan Dorsey, who did the intro from about a year ago. And I'd love for you to create one for us too. It's fun. Just tell us your name, where you're from. You don't have to be down in the parks. Anytime with the kids. It's just a fun thing to do. Tell us a couple of fun Disney World facts about yourself. And you go geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole Geekin' family. You can email them at kurt.stone@geekinonww.com. Thanks for everyone who's booking trips with Mama and Judy. travelandtiaras@gmail.com. Get that started. Plan that next trip to Disney World, Universal. Do a cruise like the one we got coming up. Don't let that wish boat get all filled up. We got the Geekin' Cruise February 10th through the 13th. Next year, 2023, we're going to the Bahamas and Castaway Cay. And we got 16 of us that are already booked, and we'd love to have more of you there. It'll be lots of fun. Lindsay and I will be there. We're going to spend some time after the cruise in the parks too. So we'd love to see you. Contact Margita and she'll get you all the details. travelandtiaras@gmail.com. You know, we're committed to helping you enjoy your Disney World vacation, so just reach out to me if you'd like to do a trip report, book a trip, although I've got lots of recordings already in the can, as they say, and I got a couple booked to record, but I'll do my best. Kurt.Stone@geekinonwdw.com. Thanks for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true. Wow. Just under 2 hours.
Yeah, just under 2 hours. I'm impressed. It's a record for us. Yeah, I could tell when we were on the Sarah trip report an hour in, and I was like, oh, no, man, we're going to be here a little bit. So, but I haven't lost all of my energy or my voice. So I'm glad we made it through.
Let me see if my Yankee game is still on.